Love, 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 love. Sound check. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Welcome, everybody, to this live seminar tonight. All on the energy of LOVE. I guess you can hear me. Welcome. Some new faces, new names. Welcome, everybody. Lovely to see you all. Well, let's see how many people choose to come on the energy of love. Let's see how many people choose to come onto that energy. Probably because it's the hardest concept to grasp. Probably the hardest energy to keep hold of. Probably the most intense energy to work with inside. Most people don't know how to handle it. I mean, just imagine saying to somebody, you know, I love you. If somebody says it to you, imagine somebody who says it to you, I love you, or you're so beautiful. It's very hard. Most people won't accept it. They reject it. No, I'm not. Oh, don't say that. So it's true. Love, the energy of love is very difficult. Golden nuggets of truth on love. What I've learned over these 2 decades as a healer and a reader for people's futures, spiritual path. And I've got to say, I'm pretty clued up on love. I'm clued up on heartbreak. I'm clued up on anything to do with finding love, losing love. I'm pretty clued up on it because you probably figured out, you know, by now, a lot of people come to healers and psychics because they've had issues with love. So golden nuggets of truth, I guess we should start by, let's think of some of them. Those that lose love are normally, I can't put it all in one basket, but I can say the majority of times are the ones that have created the very loss of love. So it's a strange one because it's something that we don't see, but we actually end relationships that we didn't want to end because of our lack of love and fear of the loss of love. It's incredible, really. I used to sit there and think, you keep going like that. I used to sometimes, when asked, I used to say, you know, everything that you're saying, everything that you're fearing, you are the creator of your life. You're the creator of losing love from your life. And some men couldn't cope. They just didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to handle the words that were given to them by me. And they continued being the destructor of their relationship. Can you imagine that? So what if I said to you that most of people who struggle with love are the ones that actually create that struggle, and they're the ones that can't hold on to love because they've never embraced love in itself. And ultimately, the only way to embrace love is to love yourself. I'm off. I'm going. I can't cope with listening to this guy. What a crock of crap, eh? Yeah, not really. It's true. So let's give us some examples, shall we, about what I'm saying. When you are strong in the energy of love, when you vibrate at joy, when you vibrate at happiness, when you vibrate at confidence, when you vibrate at an energy of great power, not ego. Ego doesn't come into this. I'm talking about when you vibrate at health, well-being, and you know who you are, know thyself. Your value, all value to yourself grows. It just, your value gets higher and higher. So the more healthy you are, the more energy you have, the more power you have, the more love you have, the more everything you have. So everything that you do for yourself is incredible because your energy gets stronger and stronger and more powerful. Now, if let's say I'm a guy who is possibly not even looking for a partner, but imagine that I met you and you love yourself, you know who you are, you know your worth. Like, I like this person. I like this energy. There's no fear. There's no worry. There's no panic. There's no greed. There's no jealousy because this person knows their worth. Rare, very rare. But when you come across people like that, most people are frightened of it and reject it and run away from it, or even call it and name call it, because they're not on that energy level and not on that frequency. So there's no connection there. But like I said, if I've worked on myself and I feel really happy and really confident, and I don't look to fulfill any emptiness in me, because there is none, because I filled it with my own love. So I've got the energy of fulfillment inside me. So I'm not looking for anything. So I often use this analogy of, don't go to a supermarket with an empty stomach. Go with a full stomach. Therefore, you're going to be more choosy in what you put in your basket, right? Same thing. You fill yourself with good energy, good food, healthy medicine food, fruits and veg. And you look after you, clear your mind, clear your energy, and you work on yourself, and you look at you spend time looking in the mirror and seeing your gifts and looking at all the good things that you've done and realize, I am a good person. and all of a sudden now your energy frequency is the same as maybe that person that you think, wow, she vibrates at a great frequency. Now that's like going to a supermarket with a full stomach. Am I wanting her because I'm hungry? There's a difference. 99% of humanity, women, men who like men, women who like women, they've got an empty stomach, and they're craving love, so they'll grab anything. It's not about energy frequency; it's about grabbing anything they can, and thus most relationships are born under that energy. Desperation is one. I hate saying it, but there is desperate people who are desperate for love because they're empty inside and they want fun, happiness, adventure. I want to be like her on Instagram, who's next to a guy with a big muscly body. Just so you know, 90% of them photos of them two together are probably going through the roughest patch that you can ever imagine. The more photos that are put out there with them hugging and loving and kissing, just showing you how bad their relationship truly is. Hey, figure that one out if you can. Sorry guys, but I don't like to lie. I just like to speak the truth. Why do I know this? Because I used to read for a lot of famous celebrities. So I used to see them all the time on the internet. And while they're posting a new picture that morning, they came to me an hour before in bits. It's a stage show, folks. So the worst thing is looking on the internet and measuring your life to somebody else's. And that's why so many people are depressed. And that's why I so often ridicule this pantomime, this stage show of nonsense. In fact, the ones I find that are in a really comfortable and healthy relationship don't post hardly at all. Very rarely. Because they don't need to. Somebody who continually posts is because they're selling something. So if it's a model, she's selling herself. If it's a fitness person, yeah, they're selling their body, so they're showing that. But if it's an influencer, they're selling their lifestyle so that you buy into their lifestyle. But I swear to you, I don't think I've come across an influencer who's got over 1 million followers who are balanced and happy. They've got absolutely messed up lives. Go figure. So love is such a delusion when you're on the black screen. So here's a good thought. Switch off your phone if you're ever trying to work yourself to love, because what you're looking at on the black screen is false idols. And you know what they say in the Bible about false idols. So, going back to love. What's that song? All there is love. You know, the only thing there is love. There's so many songs about love, but it's true. So, first of all, let's have a look at love itself. What is love? What is the energy of love? And it's a fascinating subject in itself. I could talk about this for ages, but each person individually sees love as an energy, what fulfills their weakness, their suffering, their trauma and fear. If you look at love with a full stomach, it's a different thing, right? Because what you're looking for in love could be, you know, Grace here could be looking at love as companionship. It could be trust, reliable, somebody who's reliable, somebody who wouldn't cheat, somebody who would protect and care. And then you can go down and you could find, I don't know, somebody else, Mary, for instance, and Mary could see it in a completely different way. Love could be meeting somebody on a Saturday afternoon, because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, she's busy. But on a Saturday afternoon, she'd love to meet somebody and sit down and have just a lovely coffee or a drink and a chat and a nice walk in the park, kiss on the cheek, and then they go back to doing their life. And I generalizing in the word love is itself a joke. It just doesn't exist. It's just the illusion of one person's belief system of what love means. So I think the only way you truly understand love is to find it within yourself, because if you're looking for it within somebody else, you are very, very lucky if you live a lifetime with that person without being let down in that energy that you believe is love. So, you know, there is a strong possibility that, you know, the love that you thought was love, which you had already measured and you'd already put forward onto this person, not them, you. So you put that belief system in love. You created that energy, that delusion of love, what you thought was love. And anybody can talk. Anybody can talk. Anybody can say, oh yeah, I love you. Anybody can say that. Anybody say those words. So, you know, putting a ring on a finger right now, I think you've probably all figured out that that's a bunch of bullshit. Because if you look at the statistics in this world now, more people split up within the first 7 years of a relationship than actually stay together through the whole of a relationship. So it's good to you know, check in on yourself and look at reality as it is. And if you do want to be with somebody for the rest of your life, I find that kind of like deluded. And I think we do that to ourselves because we fear being alone or we fear being rejected. And ultimately, love isn't any of those things, because the man that you're with could meet somebody else and fall in love with them. And then the woman that's with him has found love. So that, you know, they've got love now. And because you haven't got love, you're angry because that love's gone. So buying into the concept of love is a very superficial thing to me. So what I found after so many years of reading for people, realized this is all just bullshit, all of this, and especially marriage. But then you get an argument of somebody saying, I've been married all my life with this person, so you're talking rubbish, Mark. And I'm saying, right, that's really rare and very special. But the majority of people, they're not set on a path to be together all their life. And they may be on a journey, because marriage isn't something that was created by the heavens and earth. It was created by man. And if you look at why marriage was created, it's two companies coming together to create a corporation. So you come together and your assets become one. And when you divorce, then you have to separate them assets. So it's a business transaction. But it's all been, fluffied by a big dress and dolls with wedding dresses, and the dream of Hollywood sharing, you get married in a pink, whatever it might be, Rolls Royce, or a horse and cart, or whatever it is the program is. But reality is far from that, just like Hollywood is far from reality. And so this idea of brainwashing a child from a young age about marriage till they get older, all they've got in this head is that they want to get married, 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 they want to get married. That's it. That's a form of brainwashing. And people have been so angry with me. And I'm saying, well, you can be angry with me, but I've sat in front of thousands upon thousands of people who are going through a marriage breakup. Maybe it's a good idea to ask them what they think about marriage now. So don't argue and get angry with me because I break your illusion of marriage, because the chances of marriage lasting all your life is extremely slim. So the reason why that is not because you've done something wrong. It's not because they've done something wrong. It doesn't matter whether they've cheated on you or you've cheated on somebody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's none of those things. None of them. What it is on a spiritual level, if you stand back from all of the illusion that we live in, it's an experience, and there is no black and white, right and wrong, it just is what it is that your time is your time. And if you're meant to be together, you will be together. And if you're not, you won't be. So there's no point fighting, there's no point screaming, no point begging, no point praying, no point at all. What you do is just say, well, if we're meant to be together, we will. So whatever happens from here, if we get through it, we get through it. And if we don't, then it was meant to be that way. And I find a lot of people heal quicker in the energy of that. If not, then they become very bitter, very angry. And sometimes it's to their detriment, health, well-being. They age very quickly, because they hold on to all the things that they thought was right, and then they blame that person, and they might have children with that person and tell their children, then their children end up with that trauma too, and it never stops, it continues. So my work with people who wanted to kill their partner, literally kill them, anything they could do to cause great pain, was to help them see that it wasn't anybody's fault, and it isn't about a weak moment. It's just, I kind of look at it like, before we come here, we say to each other, okay, we're going to be together, but something's going to have to happen here along the way, because we've got another journey. We've got to experience something else with somebody else, because we're now meant to be there with that other person, or now I need to be on my own at that point to be able to, get through and to feel that experience there. And then from that experience there, maybe meet somebody else and go through that experience. So when you start to explain to people that it's nothing personal, and you'll see this in time, and if you get over this quick now and you let it go, and you love the person that you were with, and you look upon the time that you were together in love as if a precious thing. I love it when I meet a woman who says, I was with another guy, but he left, but I still love him so much, and I'll always love him. And I think, oh, this is a lovely woman, This shows to me that she's not shallow, that she's not bitter, she's not angry, she's not jealous, she doesn't hate. It means that she still loves somebody even though they might have done something to them, and think, wow, this is a keeper. Because if she falls in love with me and we fall in love with each other, it means that we've got a pretty good chance, right? I think so. I think that's a lovely thing. Do you know how many men hate that? Do you know how many men hate that and want to split up from a woman because what, you still love the man who cheated on you? What's wrong with you? Right? Again, that is weakness on the man because he fears somebody else is more, she's going to love that person more than him. Again, all to do with weakness, all to do with no love and no love in themselves and believing in who they are. So love is a fascinating thing. Are you all on board thus far? Do you all agree or disagree? I hate him. Oh, I'm never gonna love him. That's like saying I'm never gonna love again, because if you can't love, if you have no love for somebody, it's like that's as far as you can go. So I love, but I don't love this person. That's as far as you go. You don't go any further. I love everybody. Then you're unlimited to love. It's wonderful, really, when you think about it. I love everybody. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm not like a fluffy. I'm just trying to say it as it is. You know, I everybody is me, and I am everybody. I make mistakes, and so does everybody else. You know, I don't hold anything against my past relationships, none. And if they hold something against me, then I feel really sorry for them. Must be really painful for you to hold on to oh, maybe I shouldn't have left, maybe I shouldn't have done that, maybe, like, no, don't. What happened, and we move on, and we celebrate the time we had together. We love that moment and we think about that moment. The other thing doesn't matter. The other thing doesn't matter. It's just a way to help us step forward onto our new path. And it could have been anything. So I work on loving myself every day. I don't do a good job of it, but I laugh a lot. I try and laugh a lot about myself. I try and recall moments of the good person. I don't look in the mirror too often, and too long, because you'll always find something that you won't love about yourself. So I look and check in, say, oh, sexy guy, and then I'm off. Just joking, but I am. I love myself. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change my nose. I wouldn't change my teeth, even though this goes in. I don't care. It's me. I wouldn't change my eyebrows because it's me. I wouldn't change my hair or cut it a bit, but I wouldn't change anything about myself. I love myself. I love who I am. This is me. It's taken me 56 years to love myself, to learn to love myself, and realize, bloody hell, you know, I am different. I am different. And oh my God, being different is beautiful. Being unique is beautiful. Do you know most people want to be like everybody else? They don't want to be different. They don't want to stand out. Just, I'm like everybody else. No, you're not. Nobody's like everybody else. You're all unique. And you need to love that uniqueness about yourself, because when you do, it gives an opportunity, open the energy within you that somebody else will love about yourself. Losing love is the easiest thing to do, because most people are always measuring love of a partner of every action they do. And even worse, they measure their partner's actions and love by their fears and traumas and weaknesses. So a lot of people create drama because of that reason. It's not even there. It's not even there. There's nothing even there. And then the man's like, what's wrong with you? Why are you like this for? And then he goes away thinking to himself, I don't even want to be in this relationship anymore. Why is she being like this? Because now he's thinking there's no trust. And and then he questions his self. And then it becomes really, really difficult, because that's when these new thoughts come in, and all the while it's the woman who started it, or vice versa, it's the man who started it. So it's a lack of our working on ourselves and fixing ourselves. But like I said, ultimately, when you realize that we have a path together, I don't know how long my path is with my new partner. I don't know, no idea. But I don't think about when. I don't think about how. I don't think about, is it ever going to happen? What I do is I wake up every morning and just enjoy as much as I can about my day, but I spend a lot of time on my own, because I think I've come to this point of my life where, as a kid, I didn't really, I had an adventurous childhood. I was out on my own every day doing things. And then I got more fearful as I got older. And it was a fear of doing things on my own. And only now I've come to the point in my life that I actually want to break that mold and become stronger. So I might just go somewhere like Bali and just be there on my own and try and find that happiness. Now, you'd think to yourself, shit, you can afford to go to Bali and you're not happy. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're not happy, you're not happy on your own. To find happiness on yourself, to go to a restaurant and eat on your own, to go to a bar and sit and have a drink on your own, right? Have you got happiness? Is there happiness there? Doing anything on your own, is there happiness there? Because a lot of the times, you want to, you feel like something's missing, and you think it's somebody else that you should be with to be enjoying that experience. But the thought of that, to me, I've come to realize is a program in the mind, and your consciousness is saying, hello, I'm here. Is there any chance of me being involved in this moment of joy? Because a lot of the time the brain shuts down the consciousness because of the fear or the guilt or the sadness or more fear, but I'm on my own and I can't find happiness. And we're looking always in the exterior for this love, and it's inside all the time, and it's bursting to come out. I remember one of the things that for some reason I used to say quite a lot when I was doing flower blessing ceremonies. And it was fascinating because there'd be a most miserable, sad, depressed person, and spirit, when they came into the center of the circle, I'd cleanse them and blast them with energy. And I used to make them say, I am beautiful. And I used to make them scream it louder, louder. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. And I used to say, listen to the words and then speak to your soul. Let your soul hear what you're saying. And then I used to ask them, in the morning, go out and skip in front of anybody and everybody. Just skip like you're a child. There was one particular woman from Malaysia that a daughter contacted me about 2 months after, and she said, I don't know what you did to my mum, but my mum is uncontrollable now and I don't know what to do with her. And I said, why? Because she plays tricks and jokes on me. She's like a child again. And she said, to be honest, I cry with laughter most days, and the tears are so joyful because I've never seen my mum smile or laugh. This is the first time I've ever seen it because she was abused by her husband. So spirit is amazing. So healing sessions are fantastic. So find a healer and blast the heart with great energy. By blasting the heart with great energy, there's more of a connection to the mind, and there's a healing to the trauma, the abuse that we have through teachers and mums that might not have told us that they loved us enough, or fathers that didn't appreciate us or ignored us, and so on. All of these things are traumas inside that we have to deal with, and we have to learn to love our mum for who she was and our dad for who he was. We have to forgive those teachers who didn't know any better and who were in a bad place themselves, traumatized with darkness and demons and anger and so on. So nothing was ever personal towards our growth and our experience. It was just part of the journey that we needed to experience. So love kind of has so many aspects to it. And I find love itself as something that most people either shy away from or get so caught up in that they lose their balance. Love should be part of everyday life. It shouldn't be put on a pedestal. It shouldn't be exaggerated. It should simply just flow through the consciousness with words of love, with kindness, with kind acts, with fun, with laughter, joy, and with touch. And hey, who knows? I don't really talk too much about sex, but that's another story, because I think sex has become almost demonic now, to the point where it's used as a demonic energy. I remember going to America, and I was about 18, and I went to my first nightclub in America, and this girl came up to me and she says, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from the UK." And she said, "Oh, I love your accent. Do you want to have sex?" And I realized that at that time in America, I asked her, "Oh, wow." I said, "Is this what happens here?" And she said, "Yeah, it's just like going for a coffee." And it made my stomach turn, made me feel sick. And it made me realize how I didn't want to be there anymore, how shallow and awful that is. To me, that is the most sacred thing. And if you can turn that into a quick coffee or an exercise at the gym, go for some gym work, then we've lost our way. So I'm very much against the spiritual people who talk about sacred sex and use it just so that the teacher can have sex with everybody, which happens so often. So I have no time for that kind of crap. And like I said, most spiritual stuff's been hijacked. That's why I don't do circles anymore, and I don't do groups, and I don't really participate with a lot of spiritual people, because a lot of it's been hijacked. In fact, the more I know about these things, the more I just don't want to be associated with spirituality, so-called this and that, all to do with awakening people's sexual desires and all that stuff. So sex really isn't anymore where we can associate it with love, really. But I like to say love is I think that's why a lot of satanic pedophiles, a lot of disgusting subhuman beings always have the rituals with sex and the group of people around them watching while they have sex, because it's the ultimate sacrilege, but to them it's the biggest energy feast because they're raping the true essence of love, that moment, that spark, that energy, that divine sacred moment. So if I was speaking to teenagers, and I have done here before, I've always said, don't don't rush into love. And if the guy leaves, then he was never the person for you anyway. You know what I mean? He was just searching for something that he didn't know. So, going back to the energy of love, what is that frequency and how do we create it? How do we create love if we've been abused? Which is one of the most challenging things, of course. How do we create love when we've been let down so much by, people that we thought we were building our relationship with? I think it's a very, very shallow thing to do and say, if a relationship splits up and you say, I've just wasted my 5 years in this relationship. There is no waste. Don't say that. You're only saying it because you're upset and because you feel let down. It wasn't a waste. None of it was a waste. It was all an experience. Creating love. I honestly keep going back to the same thing every time I look at it. No matter how many people came to me for a session, or a man and a woman came to me for a session because one of them was different from the other. So one wanted the other desperately to listen to the spiritual reading that I would give, and the other one wasn't really that bothered because they were done anyway, and they were just going through the process of how to get out of the relationship without it being awful. So for me, if the one person was really saying, look, I'm spiritual, I want this relationship to work, I want I'm giving all this person this love, and they need to know that I love them, and they need to know that this is a spiritual relationship. It's like, hang on, stop a minute, right? You don't need to say all these things. What you need to do is work on yourself and and if the other person is meant to be with you, they will be. So let them be, let them do what they want. And if they do love you, and if it is love, they'll come back. They'll find their way back. But you need to let them be. So do you trust them? And they'll say, no, I don't. And say, well, there's your problem. There's your issue. You have the issue of a lack of trust inside you. Yeah, but he did this and he did that. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe it's not meant to be then. So there would never be a point where I would say, oh, he's horrible. Yeah, get rid of him. Or you should do this for her. I would never do that. I would focus on the person who's the one who's in pain. And I'd say, we need to start healing you. Well, I haven't got the problem. I'm fine. And I'm saying, actually, you are the problem. Because if you were strong and you knew your worth and you knew you were beautiful and you knew that whatever happens, this is all as it should be, you wouldn't be in a terrorized state right now, in deep shock and trauma, which is killing you, by the way, and you're looking older every day. So everything you're doing is causing this person to go anyway. So you're actually making things worse. So this actually happened quite a few times where I asked this person to let them be, don't fight for them anymore, and start working on yourself. And they'd ask me what to do, and I'd turn some cards over and say, well, start, doing a routine, go to the gym every morning, go in the afternoon, and just keep going. Don't think about him, but send love all the time. Send love to him all the time. He wants to go. He's asked to go. Let him go. You keep going, right? And keep working on yourself and keep loving yourself and keep looking in the mirror and say, you are beautiful, and send him love every day and remember all the good thoughts, but but don't think anything bad, right? And then this, I swear to God, this happened a good few times. They'd come and sit down, and I'd smile, and they'd be smiling, and I'd go, so now you understand why you had to let them go. I know. I've met somebody so lovely at the gym. And I say, yeah, okay. Like I knew that was going to happen. Yes. Because now look at how happy you are. Look how, and look how much you've been working on yourself and how wonderful. And how do you think about the other guy that you were sitting? I don't think about him at all now. And I'm saying, oh, you're thinking about this new guy? Yeah. I said, so you're going to get yourself into the same issue. You're going into a relationship exactly like that one. Oh shit, I am Mark. Yeah, you are. So what are you going to do? I don't know. I said, you're going to go to the gym and keep going and keep working on yourself and realizing that you're a beautiful soul, and you send your love to that person that you were once with, and you remember all the good times that you were with him. And then when you move into this relationship, you're gonna kill that thought that you had before. You're gonna break the mold because you have love for that person that you were with, and not fear and worry and all that. So you don't bring it into the next relationship. And there's some truth in that. I mean, not always that happened, but there was truth in that. And it's really ultimately, love is about breaking the mold of your fears of what was thrust upon you as a child. It's so amazing because I give you this one instance that I'm remembering. This woman sat with me, and it was like she was fearful of men, and she didn't know why. And she struggled to love a man. She struggled. She thought she was going to get married. She thought she was going to love a man. But when it came to being with a man, something happened. Something happened. So I looked at her cards, and I was looking at her and thinking, you haven't been mistreated. You've been loved by you've been loved by your mum. Your mum loved you. I could see that her mum was sad, very, very sad. But the child gave her joy. The dad died. I can't remember how. It was some kind of, I don't know. I think it was alcohol or something like that. But he got liver disease or something. And then anyway, he died when she was still a baby. So she just had a mum's love. Mum was sad, but she had a lot of joy from mum. So I'm reading for her, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, are your dad's here? And at this point, she hadn't told me that her dad had died, but I said, your dad's in the spirit world. And she said, what does he want? He wants to apologize for hurting your mum. And then I saw it. He came home absolutely pissed and raped her while she was pregnant. And the mum was saying, no, I don't want to do this. And she was very close to having the baby. And it went on for, like, I could see this like all night. She was being raped all night, and she was screaming. And she said, oh, could it be the reason why I am the way I am is because of that? And I'm thinking just the same thing. Because your dad's saying I'm sorry to you as well. So even that, when you come away and you walk along this street with your two schnauzers and you're thinking about these things, thinking, even when you're in a belly, you're a baby in a belly, you can be abused. You can feel that abuse. And it can come into this life and you didn't even know what happened. So we can't always point a finger at ourselves and say we're to blame, like I did at the start of this. There are times where it isn't our fault, right? So I want to bring balance to this. But it is our destiny to break the mold of all our suffering and pain and experience that hold us back, because nobody else will do it. You can marry somebody, the most beautiful soul in the world, but if you still hold on to that suffering, whatever it is, and you're not looking for it and clearing it, then it will haunt you for the rest of your life, even when you're happy. Because sometimes you're holding somebody that you love so much, and at the happiest moment, you have this fear that runs through you. And that fear is losing this love that you feel so much. And that can break up your relationship. That's like being an addict, and it keeps coming, and it's like an addiction. It's like it keeps coming, and it can grow and grow until you explode in so many ways, break down, and not know what's wrong with you. So when we look at this as a seminar and we talk about all aspects of love, I think we figured out that the whole point of our journey is to find within ourselves the beauty, the gifts, the power, the specialness that lies within you, the individual amongst billions of people that you are, the special you that you are. And it seems that the more you find the special you, the gifts that you hold, and work on them and bring them out, the more the confidence is the frequency that connects to the consciousness and eliminates the fears and kills, literally breaks down, disintegrates the trauma. To somebody who can look in the mirror and say, I love you, I love myself, I'm proud of me, I am very different, I am very rare, there's nobody like me, and I am special in so many ways, without bringing forward the thoughts and the fears of what your family members or your partner might say. Who do you think you are? You know, you're a big head, aren't you? This is what we see on the black screen, deliberately taunting us, mocking us, ridiculing us for when we show confidence. And I don't mean ego. I'm just saying, you know, I am a good person. So I ask you all tonight, are you a good person? I am. I know I am. Have I made mistakes? Bloody loads of them, yeah. But that's the whole point of this journey, to experience. And if I don't make a mistake, then I'm not experiencing. So yeah, I've made mistakes. Have I made mistakes in love? Of course I have. Of course I have. You don't think somebody leaves just because, you know, they want to leave. It takes two. That's something we can think about. So I remember in my first marriage, when I got up off the floor thinking I don't want to be here anymore, I actually got up and said to myself, how can I be a better partner after what I've learned from this relationship? Well, as a hot-headed half Italian, half Polish guy, which isn't a brilliant sandwich mixto, don't react as much. Be more loving, be more kind, be more understanding, listen more. Okay, I'll take that away if I ever meet somebody else and try and be a better person. Not that you will, not that your quirkiness about you won't kick back up again, but being aware and accepting that you played a part in the relationship that broke up is a wonderful thing, even though we step back from all of it, like we said, and said the bigger picture is you weren't meant to be together anyway, but the experience is important. And what did I learn from the experience? And can I break the mold of my weaknesses and worries and fears and my quirkiness and craziness and all of that? So that's how I kind of see love. That's how I see creating love. That's how I see losing love. And that's how I see the way love is. Finding love to me, which is the final part of tonight's little seminar, is the most fascinating part. Because you might spend all the time in a gym. You might meditate every day. You might, do so many things to find love. You might do your love mantras and all that. And it could be that you're in the different part of the world where you should be. So a lot of the times we don't get up off our ass and do things, travel and experience the world and get off for the afternoon and go somewhere where you haven't been. And I tell you why. Because if you see it as I saw it, as a spiritual reader speaking or trying to communicate with spirit, and I did so sometimes quite well and sometimes I was not very good at it, but I really tried to communicate with spirit as best as I could. What I gathered from it, having going for hundreds of walks and thinking about it, is that there's another world just like ours. And if you imagine they look exactly like us, which they don't, but imagine they look just like us, but you can't see them, but they're around us. And they're walking around, they're trying to figure out how we can help you go through the experience that you're meant to meet so-and-so, and how to get you to get to meet them, because all you're doing is crying in bed, thinking about your last relationship, and you hate men or you hate women, and you don't want to be with anybody, you don't want to do anything. And actually, they're saying, get up. You're on your next adventure. Why are you crying? Because that's what they think. Because they don't want you to be upset. Because you've got too much to do in this short breathed time that you're here. And while you're here, it's a very important part of your journey. So you could go tomorrow. There could be a war tomorrow, a nuclear war, and then we're gone, then we're back home. So we need to enjoy it. We need to embrace it. And we've got things to do because we pre-planned a lot of the things, right? So we're like, we need to do this. We need to go through that. We need to do that. We need to do, it's like we've got it all kind of pre-planned, even though it's free will and you can do anything you want. They'll still try and get you on the path of meeting this person or doing this. Often people say to me, do we actually sometimes go far off the path that we're not there? Yeah, but they'll catch up to you and the spirit will be there. Right. Oh, he's gone this way now. Quick, catch up with them and try and meet them there. And I realized that when I was doing healing sessions, because people were brought to me and I'm thinking, wow, how did you get here? Well, it's funny you should say that. I met so-and-so at a certain time and I'm like, wow, this is spirit's work. They really know how to get us together. And a lot of the times we as human beings, we miss the signs. We miss that love and we miss the time that we should be working on ourselves and self-love. Too busy, too much to do. I've got to be over there. Yeah, but you're here. Yeah, but I need to be over there. Now that you're over there, where do you need to be? I need to be over there. Okay, but you've just got there. Yeah, no, I need to be there. Yeah, but you're here. Yeah, but I need to go there now. So you're there now. What's happening? I need to be there now. Is this 90% of humanity? Whatever they're doing, they need to be doing something else because they're never actually present or in the moment or seeing what they need to see. So at least 50% of men who came to me never even saw what was there in front of their eyes. I give a great story about something that I closed my eyes in front of this woman and I said, this woman, were you in a lift the other day? And she said, yeah. And I used to tell this story, but it's actually a true story. It was a metaphor, but it was actually a true story because I saw her in a lift and there was a guy next to her and he looked so, he actually stunk. He looked a mess. And I said, oh, he smells. She said, oh, it did. And I said, that was the guy that you were meant to meet. And what I read was the guy had just finished work for his grandmother because she hadn't taken care of her garden. So he cleaned the garden all day long. There was shit in the garden. He cleaned it all up. It was a mess. And then he went back to his apartment, and as he went up the lift, she was in the lift meeting somebody else. And anyway, it ended up that they ended up together. I didn't really talk about that, but she went back to a friend's house, and then she saw this guy again. They went for a coffee, and then they went out, and then they were together for, I don't know, maybe 2 years they were together for, but they had a great 2 years, and then something happened. I don't know what happened, but anyway, the point being, they were meant to be, they meet together, and she ignored it because she looked at him because he looked scruffy, he smelled, but yet they were meant to be together. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of the times we don't see the gift that's in front of us because we judge. We're frightened. We don't want to speak to somebody. We don't want to know them. And how frustrating is that for spirit world when they're trying so hard. Yeah, it reminds me a bit like Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg talking to the spirit world. It reminds me of a bit like that. It's kind of funny, really, but it's beautiful. So, finding love. Be present. Be in the moment. Every single thing that comes your way is not just a coincidence, but could be Spirit's helping hand. Thus, I'll leave it there tonight. I hope you enjoyed this evening. And from the bottom of my heart, I hope you find the love within to feel amazing for the rest of your life and feel that love, because there's no greater love than your own self-love. Good night, everybody. Take care. If you want to know what crystals are good for love, my choices in crystals, right now I like neon azurite. There's a reason why. I also feel that Super 7 is a fabulous crystal to get us in there's so many different crystals in that one, so Super 7 is a beautiful one. I really like for love watermelon tourmaline. It's such a beautiful crystal. And last but not least, Sugilite. These are fabulous crystals for love, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. So I'm wishing you all a lovely evening. Cleanse yourself, clear yourself every day, and look in the mirror and just be aware that you're beautiful, because you are. You really are. And just remember this one thing. Do you know how special you are? Do you know why you're special? Because if you do fall in love with somebody, they're so lucky, because you are somebody that would dedicate your life of love and strength and all the wonderful things that you would give to that one person. That's really special. That's how powerful you are. That's how special your love is for somebody else. So don't ever think you're not lovable. You're more lovable than most people in this world. Don't forget that. Good night, everybody. Love you all. Take care. Bye. Night, night.